What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MasterG's Game Room. I am Brandon Tuning, otherwise known as Master G. I'm here with my buddy Jared Weathers.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing just fine, as well as I can in this, Backstreet Boys reunion tour problem we got going around out of here.
Sure.
Um, I decided to start this with my buddy Jared here. Just going to be doing about games. I know we talk about a lot of wrestling, we talk a lot of movies, we talk a lot of TV shows, but what about gaming? Gaming needs the corner too. Wouldn't you agree?
I 100% agree. Yes.
All right, so this is the first episode. Thank you guys for joining us. I do want to let you know this is going to be a very chill first episode. We're not going to get into intense charting yet. However, I would love to with your help, sir. But this episode is going to be real chill. We're going to talk about our favorite video games of all time. We're going to start with one. We're going to see what goes on from there. But this first one, Jared, I'm going to give to you, and then I'll tell you mine. I want you to go into the deep recesses of your mind. It doesn't matter what game it is. It doesn't matter when it was. It could be yesterday. But I want to hear from you what game impacted your life. You remember the day you opened it, came out of the womb and you started playing Mario, whatever. Tell me about it.
Uh, well, it's really funny because I actually didn't grow up playing Nintendo. I actually grew up playing PlayStation.
Nothing wrong with
Um,
that.
I probably the first game I remember playing is NASCAR Rumble for the PlayStation 1.
Fantastic.
Uh, it is probably my favorite game on the PS1. It's it's like Mario Kart, but with actual race cars and actual drivers, and it's one of the earliest games that I played, and it's in my top 10 of favorite games of all time.
Nothing wrong with that. Did you play the spiritual successor?
I did not, because I didn't know about it till way later.
There was a game called NASCAR Unleashed. It came out, I'd say, about a little less than 10 years ago. It was well, I would say it's definitely less than 10 years ago, but it was released on the 360 and PS3, and it was over the top Mario Kart style racing like NASCAR Rumble, but obviously with better graphics and newer drivers. I would greatly suggest you try NASCAR Unleashed. If you were a fan of NASCAR Rumble, because I remember playing that game a little bit as well. That was a PlayStation exclusive, if I'm right.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember playing that a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm on the other side of the fence. I played Nintendo when I grew up. I actually didn't have a PlayStation, a working PlayStation, until like 2003 or 4,
Wow.
which is a travesty. Trust me, I know that. But in my house, my mom and my dad, we played Nintendo, and I will talk about one of my earliest memories. It's not one of my favorites. I want to point this out. It's not one of my like top 10 favorites, because we're talking about my lifetime. However, when I was a kid, literally the reason why I made the joke is when I popped out of the womb. I'm not even joking. My mom put me in front of a TV, in front of a Super Nintendo, and was like, here's Super Mario World, here's A Link to the Past, Legend of Zelda, for anybody that doesn't know that. You go at it. Now, of course, I was a little ass kid, so I barely pressed the buttons. So A Link to the Past for me, all I remember when I was that young is I just like swinging the sword, which makes sense,
Right.
you know. But Mario World was more of an impact for me in my younger years because it seemed like my entire family played that game. Like I remember one of the earliest memories was after we had just came back from Winn Dixie. So I'm from Florida. We came back from Winn Dixie, and I remember my mom gave me a 6 pack of Mondo fruit punch. I think it was great, but it doesn't matter. It gave me drinks,
Mhm.
and she literally sat me in front of the couch with a 6 pack of these, and my uncle, my dad, and my mom all sat in front of the TV without me. Point out because I was too young, and I
Right.
watched them play through Super Mario World, like play through the entire game. And I was like, at a young age, obviously I wasn't comprehending that, but when I'm older, thinking about that memory, like that was a very impactful time for me. So for me, the game that made me very, very much into the person I am today would be Super Mario World.
Interesting.
So now we talked about the earliest memory, but what is your most favorite game of all time?
So as you know, I play a lot of video games.
Hmm?
Lots of different kinds of video games from different eras. Uh, my favorite game of all time from any of the games I played is Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005.
Wow.
I have been playing that game almost basically since it came out. I played it on the PS2. I have it on my Xbox One as a download. Um, I love that game. Me and my brother would play that game all the time. Like we like nonstop, just do the instant action all the time.
Hmm.
So it was I have to say that's my favorite game of all time.
Um, on the same note, I'm not. This is not my favorite game, but if we're talking about Star Wars, I actually around the same time as Battlefront 2. I never got into the Battlefront games. I wish I did because for me, I love lore. So I
Right.
know there's a lot of Star Wars lore in the Battlefront games. But
There
however,
is.
around that same time, there was a certain movie that just came out in theaters, and that was Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
And the day after I saw it in theaters, there's a story for that, but that I'll save that for real cast.
All right.
Um, there's a story behind that. It's funny. But the day after that movie came out, I realized that they made a game based on it,
Hmm.
and I picked that up. Actually, I think I rented it from Blockbuster first, and I remember just like you remember Instant Action. I remember there was a story mode, and there was platforming levels, and then it would end with a boss fight. The coolest thing about that game, and I still remember it to this day, is after you beat a boss, you unlocked it in arcade mode where it was just lightsaber battles, which you could play two players. And I remember the minute I collected General Grievous, I called over my buddy and I was like, "We gotta do lightsaber battle. We just have to do it. Come on over. Let's do this."
Yeah.
And he came over and he's like, "I'm gonna pick Obi-Wan." I'm like, "All right." I really feel bad about this, and I just destroyed him,
Wow.
just annihilated. So if anybody doesn't already know about the Episode 3 game, you can actually get it if you still have a PS3. I know they have PS2 classics on there. I'm not sure if they made it available on the PS4. They might have. I'm not sure.
I
But
don't
for
know.
for me, Star Wars Episode 3, the video game, is one of my favorite all-time Star Wars games, right up there with Lego Star Wars, of course.
Of course. I mean, you have to like Lego Star Wars. Like it's I'm pretty sure it's a law.
And that's my thing is I hate people shitting on the Lego series like, oh, it's too childish. Do you realize how much content is in a Lego game? There's so much you can do. You can beat the game, and then you can play every level over again with different characters, unlock more shit. To 100% a Lego game is a challenge,
Yeah,
and
it
I don't
is.
I don't think people give the Lego series enough credit. Like I know you and I are waiting for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which if you haven't heard about it, guys, it has 1 through 9, all the movies, obviously not the spin-offs, but all the
Obviously.
movies in Lego form in one game, and I'm pumped for it.
Me too. I am. I like go in like every almost every day in the GameStop. Did they announce a release date yet?
Come on, do it.
I need this.
So back to the initial question. For me, one of my all-time favorite games, and I apologize in advance because this is probably going to piss some people off. My favorite game series of all time is Zelda, Legend of Zelda. I mean, it's not difficult for me to say that.
Right.
However, what's difficult for me is my all-time favorite game is not my favorite Zelda game. Does that make
Really?
sense? It's
Not really.
really yeah, it's really difficult to admit this, but I love a lot of Zelda games. If I'd
Uh,
have to point out my favorite Zelda game, it would have to be between Twilight Princess and A Link to the Past, because A Link to the Past is a very long time for me, memory wise.
right.
However, none of those is my favorite game of all time. My favorite
Hmm.
game of all time is actually, of course, Ocarina of Time.
Really?
Yes, but it's not my favorite Zelda game. It's my favorite game of all time, but it's not my favorite Zelda game.
That's weird.
It's
Yeah,
weird,
that is
but
weird.
let me explain to you why this is my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
And this is ultimately why I wanted to start this podcast, because I wanted to mix your idea, which is sitting down, chilling, and just talking about stories, but I wanted them gaming related because I got
Right.
some fantastic gaming stories. So for me, Ocarina of Time has a very, very welcoming space in my heart because around that time when that released in, was it 1998, 1997,
Something like that.
um,
Yeah.
it was my birthday. And I remember sitting in my living room with my mom and dad. My dad was deaf. I know sign language. So I watched as my mom asked my dad to go get something for my birthday.
Hmm.
And I was I was about 6 or 7 at the time, so I knew sign language, but my brain wasn't quite fast enough to comprehend the conversation, so I got bits and pieces. So they were doing the right thing as parents, as having this conversation, and I wasn't fully grasping it. But basically, they literally talked in front of me with sign language, saying, "Yo ass needs to go to Toys R Us, go get an N64, bring that bitch back." That's literally what happened. And so my dad just left, said he'd be right back. I'm sitting there looking at my mom like, what's going on? It's like, nothing, don't worry about it. I just went back to playing Hot Wheels or some stupid shit. And about 10, 15 minutes later, I see him pull in, gets out of the car, walks to the trunk, opens it up, and pulls out the N64 box. And I don't I don't know how your puppy reacts to people at the door, but I know my puppy, when she sees someone coming up to the door, she will jump on that door, damn near bust that door down. That
Right.
was me as a kid. I was just like, "What is that? What the fuck is that?" And he brings it in. He sits it down in front of me, and he's like, "Here you go, new N64." I'm excited. I open it up. I pull it out. I'm like, "Ooh, console! Look at this weird ass controller. I love it." And then I realized something. It wasn't packaged with the game.
Oh no.
So I looked at my dad, and my mom was like, "I love this, but I need a game.
There's no game there.
There's no game in there." And my mom literally gets this like such a defeated look. And my dad's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll go back to the store. What do you want?" Now he's talking to my mom, not me,
Hmm.
my mom.
Right.
My mom literally looks at him and goes, "Anything Zelda. Anything Zelda will be good for me." And so he goes back to Toys R Us, comes back with Ocarina of Time, which was the only Zelda game at the time, of
Mhm.
course. Um, and once again, I was young, but I was more advanced on video games, so I was able to play it. Um, and for the next month, maybe 2 months, I would compete with my mother on how we could get further. And I remember she was further than me, and I was stuck in some kind of puzzle. And I literally called my mom because she was at work. I was like, "Mom, I'm stuck at this freaking puzzle. Like, how do I do this puzzle?" I don't, I don't know. Figure it out. What do you mean, figure it out? I'm asking you for help. No, 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 no. Zelda is about you figuring it out. You figure it out. You'll feel better when you figure it out. And damn it, she was right. I figured that puzzle out, and I went to the boss and I beat the boss, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm going up to the temples, mom." My mom's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm like 3 temples in. Come on." Now, unfortunately, that has a sad ending, because she did end up passing away before she ever finished Ocarina of Time, and I actually finished Ocarina of Time on her behalf. So that's why that game has a very special part of my heart, for all time. However, it is not my favorite Zelda game because I have more experience with other games.
Right.
Does that make more sense now?
Yeah, it does.
Fantastic. Okay, I just wanted to make sure to
Yeah.
clarify that it didn't sound stupid or anything. Um, I guess the next question I would have
Yeah.
is, what is your naturally, what is your current favorite game that you're playing?
Um. So I just beat the Modern Warfare story,
Ooh, yeah.
and I've been playing Call of Duty for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, Modern Warfare I don't think lives up to uh probably what I thought it was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Just personally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean it's a good game. It's a really good game, but I don't know that I beat it. I'm like, oh, is that it? Is that all? Like it seems really short.
I will 100% agree with you on that. This is definitely either one of or the shortest Call of Duty campaign, but it has a lot of heart. If I can interject, it has a lot of heart.
It does. I wish it was a little longer. If it was just like like 2 or 4 more hours longer, I really think that it'd be probably my favorite.
Hey, it
Um,
was longer than Black Ops 4's campaign.
I didn't play that game.
It didn't have a campaign.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't play it because it
it's
didn't have a
ter-
campaign
it
to it.
was such a terrible game. Good God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know why anyone bought that game.
I bought it because there was actually some pretty fun multiplayer modes. I actually never ended up playing the blackout mode, and I 100% think Warzone is a way better battle royale mode than any battle royale mode out there besides, of course, Tetris 99. That's an inside joke, guys. Tetris 99 is the best battle royale game of all time.
Uh,
Um, the one thing I'll talk about Modern Warfare real quick is it has one of my favorite missions that I've ever played. And since you just freshly beat the game, you should still remember it. But I actually really liked Clear the House.
yeah,
That felt like I was a SWAT member getting ready to clean house,
yeah.
and it felt really good. Even playing that on realistic mode, like it makes you, because I think it's like 2 shots and you're dead, 2 or 3 shots and you're dead, and I still to this day will just throw that game in and redo that mission every once in a while. Um, I did really enjoy the campaign. I will agree with you, it's not the best campaign out there, but I didn't dislike the campaign.
Right. I didn't dislike it either. I wish it was a little longer and it'd be my favorite game currently. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's really hard to choose because I like so many different games
That's
and
fine.
they're
And
not on the same level, all the
yeah,
time. So
and that's why honestly this is a question that's probably going to keep coming up on the podcast. It's just what's your favorite current game right now, and it's a pretty fun question, if I have to admit.
yeah.
For me right now, my favorite, if you would have asked me about a week or two ago, my favorite game would be Doom Eternal.
Okay.
Doom Eternal is epic. It really makes you feel like a badass. It has a lot of content on it. Like, I can still go back and try to 100% the game, but just giving you if you haven't played it yet, and our listeners haven't played it yet, it is hard. On the
Yeah.
easiest mode, it is hard. If you haven't played Doom 2016, or if you have played it, that is not a good enough measuring stick. It is harder than Doom 2016 on any difficulty.
um.
But it's so badass. Very fun. However, I have finished the campaign. Like I said, I can go back and try to 100% it, play it on a hard difficulty. But right now, I put Doom Eternal to the back burner because I finished it. And right now, I'm actually playing through Persona 5 Royal.
mm,
I have never played a Persona game in my life before this. Never played it. I remember the original Persona 5 blowing up all PlayStation gamers. Like, either you had it or you should have had it, is what everyone was saying. And I didn't understand that at the time. And I remember I waited like 2 years. Like, Persona 5 came out a long time ago. I waited like 2 years and I picked it up when it was on sale Black Friday. I think a year ago, not last Black Friday, but the Black Friday before that.
Right.
Um, it was on sale for like $15, and I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll grab that." And then I didn't play it. And then finally, here real recently, um, my girlfriend and my buddy came over, and they're both staring at me like, "You you haven't started Persona 5 yet?" Like, "No." "Hey, it's still wrapped. Like, you want to unwrap it for me?" "Yeah, sure. Let's unwrap it." And I put the disc in, installed it, got ready to go. I got about an hour into it, saved it, quit it. We started playing something else,
Yeah.
and I'll admit to you, it wasn't sucking me in yet.
Right.
Like, I played an hour in, so I ended up not going back to it. We have a little bit of an argument between me and my girlfriend because she says that she told me several times to try it again, and I don't remember her asking me at all. But I can forget things sometime. Um, but then Persona 5 Royal came out,
Hmm.
which was to put it in perspective, if you're a Nintendo player, Persona 5 Royal is kind of like the Pokemon Yellow to Pokemon Red and Blue. It's the best of and then more content.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a long ass game, and it got even longer. But to explain Persona 5 in a quick explanation, it's you get to go through a school year in Japan, which, a school year in Japan is a long ass time.
It is.
Um, you get to go through that while being while knowing that there is an alternate universe where every single person is in that universe as like almost a dark version of themselves.
Mm.
And basically, the game is you have to every day, you go through the game daily for a year. You go through it every day, deciding whether you want to go into the dark world and defeat and or save people, or injure yourself as a school year and cause anarchy if you don't go to the dark world. And it, like right now, my girlfriend's playing it and I'm watching it, and I'm just like, I understand why everyone's liking this, and I apologize that I haven't gotten into it. So right now, I'm actually playing through Persona 5 Royal, and it's really fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you're not an RPG player, it's gonna be good for you because I know, Jared, you're a story person.
Yes.
The story is very interesting, super interesting.
Mm.
But it's thick. Like, that's what ended up happening to me is like the 2 or 3 times I've tried or was interested. It's overwhelming a little bit, but as much as I want to make the joke, it is the truth. You literally just have to take it one day at a time. You literally do. So right now, my favorite game is Persona 5 Royal, currently.
Mm.
So let's get into some gaming news real quick.
Okay.
I know you've seen it. I've seen it. What do you think about the DualSense?
Oh, the new PlayStation controller.
Yeah, the PlayStation 5 controller.
Okay, I have a lot of issues with it.
Okay.
So I know I've said this on Facebook before, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me on it. But it looks like like PlayStation is ripping off Xbox now because it looks just as big. It's the same setup as all the other PlayStation controllers, but it looks just as big as the Xbox controller, and I'm not really sure why.
I will agree with you. I definitely think like it's more of a rip off than it isn't.
Right.
However, my number one issue is not just the look of it, but the why. Now,
Yeah, that
you're
too. Yeah.
you're a PlayStation fan, so you've
Yeah.
played or at least held every controller that they've ever released.
Every single controller. I have my PS4 controller in my hand right now as I'm
Ex-
talking about it.
exactly. So here's my problem. You go PS1, you go PS2. Ooh, they added joysticks. You go
Yeah.
PS2 to PS3. Ooh, they took away the cord.
Mhm.
Then you go DualShock 3 to DualShock 4, and they added a touchpad.
Yep.
That's it. At its core, it's the same ass controller for 4 generations straight. You know why? Because it works. It's fine. It's perfect. You want to
Yep.
keep adding things? That's cool. Keep adding things. You want to change the layout a little bit? Cool. Think about it first. But to completely change what the DualShock is, that's a terrible choice in my opinion.
I agree.
And Xbox isn't doing it. Xbox
No.
still hasn't do it. The what's funny is PlayStation and Xbox are doing the opposite things. Xbox has been shrinking their controllers.
Hmm.
Like I don't know if you ever held the original Duke controller from the original Xbox, but that thing is a beast.
I did one time. It was a long time ago
Yeah,
though.
it is gigantic. It is huge. And like even if you compare it to an Xbox 360 controller, it's way smaller. But if you compare it to current Xbox One controllers, it's a significant difference. However, you know this and I know this, Dual Shocks have only gotten bigger.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, Even with the small difference from the DualShock 1 to DualShock 2 where they just added the joysticks, it it was there and it just got bigger.
Yeah.
And then it got bigger. And then it got bigger. And now we're at what looks to be an Xbox controller. And I
It
just
really does.
I I uh, that's frustrating to me,
Yeah.
you know. And the fact that now I'm going to do news, but I will also talk about rumors. There is this rumor that PlayStation rushed the announcement of the DualSense to give fans something to go off of because I know I have been worried about announcements ever since E3 has been canceled, and I know Xbox is secretly planning a big reveal for the Xbox Series X very soon
Hmm.
for more information. So I know that Sony has just been, scrounging for what to reveal and what not to reveal, but I don't think the DualSense is going to be a good controller. I really don't.
I don't either, to be quite honest. Like even like between the DualShock 3 and 4, not only the touchpad, but they made the DualShock 4 even just like a little like longer, like
Hmm.
so you have a little more control over everything.
Hmm.
But it's not like huge. Like it's not like a big controller or anything.
Yeah.
Like it's just the size of your hand. Like it's
Yeah.
nothing huge.
Yeah. It was made a little bit bigger, like you just said. It was made a little bit longer, a little bit bigger than the DualShock 3, but
Yeah.
not enough to make you go, okay, this is too big.
Right.
This is not a PlayStation controller. At the end
Exactly.
of the day,
Because I mean, it's all the same look. Like it's all the
yeah.
same kind of mold and everything.
I don't know. Personally, I'm not a fan. I don't. I know it'll. My opinion will change once I'm holding it, and once we get that finality that yes, this is the fucking PlayStation 5 controller. You'll just deal with it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
True.
Um,
I 100% agree with that.
yeah. Now I know you're not a huge Nintendo fan, but have you been hearing the rumors about a Super Mario All Stars 2?
No.
Okay, so do you remember what the original Super Mario All Stars was?
No.
So Super Mario All Stars released for the Super Nintendo, and it featured all the Nintendo games.
Hmm.
It had Super Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Brothers 2 American, Super Mario Brothers 2 Japanese, and it also had Super Mario Brothers 3. And so it was shown as a fantastic collection of games.
Hmm.
Now, ever since then, even me, I've been saying that they have fantastic Mario games that they could do a sequel to it. Well, rumors are coming out that thanks to, I believe it's the 35th anniversary this year of Mario, I think.
Something like
Yeah, they're secretly, I'm using quotation marks if anybody can't see me,
that.
secretly making a Super Mario All Stars 2 with more recent and modern Mario games, and that being included Super Mario 64, which is a fantastic game, Super Mario Sunshine,
I
and
I did play that game. That was like one of the only Mario games I played on the Nintendo. Was that Sunshine game?
right. And then I believe the third one they were thinking about is Super Mario Galaxy 1. But the only thing I disagree with that collection is you're not going to have Galaxy 2. That's stupid. If you're gonna do the Mario collection, don't leave something out. Is what I would say.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and then the other side of the rumor is that they're going to also redo, which this one I fully believe, like 100%. They're going to re-release Super Mario 3D World, which was exclusive to the Wii U,
Mm.
and they're just going to report that to the Switch. Now, obviously, for reasons I know that this is real is because they've already re-released all the best of Wii U games to the Switch anyways, and this one is a big omission. So for me, Super Mario 3D World makes 100% sense.
Right.
Um, but for me, I know Super Mario 64 is fantastic. But you can play it anywhere. You can play it on your N64. You can play it on your DS. If you still have a Wii or a Wii U, you can still play it on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you can't? Sunshine. You can't do that anything unless you have a GameCube with the original disc, or if you
Yeah.
want to illegally download it. So Sunshine for me is a given. Like I didn't get to play Sunshine when I was younger because one, I was too young to enjoy the flood system.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was overcomplicating a simple Mario game. Um, but since then, I've only been more interested in wanting to play it. So for me, that alone, if they could just drop an upgraded version of Sunshine to the Switch, I'd be super happy.
Right.
Not even gonna lie. But we're just waiting. We're just waiting because Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, because of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, like we're all just sitting at home waiting for more gaming information. I know I
Right.
am. It's just there's not a lot out there.
Yeah.
And when we do get information, it's terrible news. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you're a big PlayStation guy. Are you super happy about Last of Us 2 now being undetermined release?
I don't care about The Last of Us.
Oh, them's fighting words for Sony fans.
I didn't. I never played the original, so I don't care about the second one.
Mhm.
Um. So I have no opinion on it.
No opinion. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. It sounded like you had a little bit of an opinion there.
Nope. No opinion.
um, the only reason why I bring that up is because any Sony exclusive is a big release.
Yeah.
I know Days Gone wasn't the biggest hit, but even before and during the release, not only GameStop but Sony was displaying it as a big release. Spider-Man right before that was a fantastic game. Um, but Sony loves to talk about their exclusives, and when you take away a big one like Last of Us Part Two, it's gonna hurt. There's also one that's being released, which at this moment of recording has not been pushed. Ghost of Tsushima, which sounds like it's not a Souls game, but it's also not a Souls game.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, so, so I'm actually looking into that game because that one sounds actually pretty fun. Um, but when you it's just like movies, when you hear that we can't do this because of blank or we have to push this because of blank. It's just very discouraging.
Yeah. I agree.
And then the final question of this episode of the podcast that I'd like to ask is a pretty interesting one. I'm very interested in hearing what you'd say. What upcoming game are you most excited about?
All right. So first, before we end this, I do have to tell a story of
Oh,
me
please.
getting game shamed. Um,
Oh,
but
go for
first,
it.
first I'm gonna answer your question and then I
Okay.
tell the story. So,
Yeah.
uh, I honestly, like, no joke, I was really excited for WWE 2K21. I'm like, you know what? There's only up you can go, and then
Right.
they canceled it, and I was like, no, um, because you can't go any lower than WWE 2K20. Like that is like the lowest you can be at.
I wish I could disagree with you, but it's hard to. Like, even for me, 2K17 is one of my least favorite WWEs, and even that has more content and better playing. It's a better system than 2K20.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? 2K21, you can really, literally only go up. Like it doesn't matter by how much. You can only go up at this point. And then they canceled it. So I'm not ready for that one obviously. Probably the only game that hasn't been canceled, Lego Star Wars. Lego
But
Star Wars The Rise of Sky or the Skywalker Saga. So
of
I
course,
mean, I pre-ordered it, I paid it off. I'm just waiting for it to come out.
yeah. I understand, and then on a personal level, we've talked about this game several times, so I completely understand that. As for WWE, I personally am not accepting yet that it has been officially canceled. I know what you're gonna say, blah blah blah. WWE doesn't care, blah blah blah. 2K already said it. I am waiting for some kind of sunlight to come through the clouds and say, all right, we did have time. We're going to make 2K21. It's gonna be better. We're gonna have the Fiend on the front because he deserves it.
That's the only way you
And
can do it.
yeah, and for our listeners, Jared and I are huge WWE wrestling game fans and wrestling games in general. And
Yep.
I definitely foresee a future episode being featured with just wrestling games because I mean we could talk all day about it.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as upcoming games, for me, I have to go with games that are far out
Mm.
and one game that at this moment hasn't been pushed. So for me, I am really excited for more information, literally salivating for any information on Elder Scrolls 6
Mm.
because I mean, it's freaking Elder Scrolls 6 and I've heard enough about Skyrim as it is. um, I'm also super pumped for Grand Theft Auto 6
Yeah.
because every day it seems we're getting more and more information about that. Unfortunately, we got some bad information yesterday. I don't know if you heard about this, Jared, but
I don't know.
Rockstar themselves finally admitted, like, hey guys, listen, GTA 6 is under development,
All right.
but we're in early development, guys. So calm your tits. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
I
no.
I don't believe that they're in early development at this point. This game has been I've heard this game's been in development since before Red Dead Redemption 2 came out.
And you're probably right, and I fully believe that. And they could be trying to get us off the scent. But here's the thing: there is tons and tons of announcements and rumors and scoops about internal Rockstar developers saying we got 6 ready soon.
Yeah.
We got 6 could come out this year. 6 could come out as a launch title on the new systems.
That's what I heard uh that GTA 6 is ready to come out like as a bundle package with the new PS5 and the Xbox game
Right.
systems.
So when we get an official statement by Rockstar saying, "Hey guys, yes, we're working on it. However, we're in early development," it hurts.
Yeah.
And then you tack on the other side of the story, which I really hate, because it almost sounds like not as demonic, and I am going to use the word demonic because I really hate this. I don't think they're going to go the Square Enix way and make GTA 6 episodic,
No.
but apparently new rumors and more things are coming up, which would kind of agree with both the early development answer and the fact that they could have it as a launch title, which is they're going to break up 6 and make episodes and drop more content later.
Now that would be interesting.
Personally, I would hate it. I would hate it.
Well, think about this though, because then that would pretty much confirm the rumor that GTA 6 is supposed to be in Liberty City, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Right, which I'm all for. Honestly, one of my childhood imaginations going wild is a Grand Theft Auto America, where you could literally just either go on planes or drive across America and visit Vice City, Liberty City, San Andreas, and other unnamed cities that Rockstar has been working on. And obviously,
Right.
that's an idea that would not be feasible yet,
Right.
but I agree that we should be able to visit these cities. However, I want to be able to enjoy a week straight binge of playing Grand Theft Auto through the story mode, and I do not want to beat quote unquote episode 1 in 3 days and go, well, here's another few months before I get to continue this.
Right.
So I'm all for releasing GTA 6. I don't know about episodically.
Right.
Um, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out about that one. And
Yeah,
then
we will.
the actual this year game that I'm excited for, which I'm hoping you're excited for too. I don't remember if we ever talked about it. Of course, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not excited for that game.
I think it's going to be a sleeper hit, man. I know there's a lot of people spouting, I love this, but I think it's going to be one of those games that there's going to be a small group of people that love it, and then they're just going to hug people and sneeze on people and cough on people, and this game is just going to just take over the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
get it.
just like those damn Backstreet Boys reunions.
Of course. Um all right, so I really want to tell my story before we get out of here.
Go for it.
Okay, so you know, oh god, what's the kid's name now? I can't think of it. Jacob something. Oh, he has red hair. We went to
Oh,
school together.
yeah. He comes in the story once in a while. I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I actually saw him when I was working at Target. I saw him as I was walking out from us talking, and so he stopped me and he's like, "Hey man," and he's like, we're talking about video games, and he's talking to me about Elder Scrolls and whatever else, Cyberpunk 2077 and all these games that I don't care about. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, whatever.
Hmm.
And I'm like, he's like, well, what game are you excited for? And I told him, like, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Like, I'm excited for this game, man. Like, I just cannot wait. Playing the two original, Lego Star Wars games,
Hmm.
and then playing the complete saga, which I also have on my Xbox,
Yep.
and playing Lego Star Wars 3 and playing Lego Star Wars The Force Awake. Like, I love the Lego games and I cannot wait for this game. Like I'm just so excited. Um, and then he tries to game shame me because I like Lego games,
Hmm.
and he spouts that it's like it's for a child. It's like, but there's so much in it.
Hmm.
Like even on the complete saga, you still have the bounty hunter stuff, like which is
Hmm.
like a side mission, and
Yep.
like he just straight up tried to game shame me in GameStop. That I'm like, no, you have to back up, or else I'm gonna like push you off a cliff.
Yeah. Um, I won't say too much about this person, but I have many occasions I have seen that, and I just kind of shut him down because here's the thing: you can be you can have opinions, you can be strong opinionated. That's
Of course.
fine,
Yeah.
but he's like he almost feels like he has to convert you, which
Yeah.
I'm not okay with. Like you, I told you I think you actually might be interested in Cyberpunk if you gave it a chance. I'm not telling you, hey, you need to pre-order it right now. Oh, it's going to be the game of the year. Also, by the way, I don't believe Cyberpunk's going to be game of the year. Personally, I think it's going to be a strong runner. I don't think it's going to win game of the year. Um, but
I I will say if GTA 5 or yeah, if GTA 6 comes out this year, all the other games should just stop doing stuff because GTA 6 is obviously going to be game of the year.
yeah,
Like no
yeah,
matter what
it's
year it comes out, it's going to be number 1. Like there's
yeah.
no doubt.
Um, I know a lot of people really are enjoying Final Fantasy VII remake, which
Yeah.
I actually won. I didn't tell you this. I actually won a free copy for doing training, which I was very proud of. But
Wow.
I started playing it, and I actually am not the biggest fan of the original.
Yeah.
Um, I like Final Fantasy, but I prefer playing games like action RPGs like Final Fantasy 15 is, or stuff like that.
Right.
Um, the turn-based game for me is just it's too slow paced. So when Final Fantasy 7 remake adopted the action RPG elements and still had a turn-based feel to it in some capacity, I was very intrigued, and so I picked it up. I actually bought it from Walmart. and,
Wow.
uh, yeah, I bought
Traitor.
it. It's okay. It happens. I bought it from Walmart, and I took the day and a half it took to install it because it's a huge ass game, and it just didn't suck me in. And then I got an email. It's like, hey, buddy, you want a free copy? I'm like, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
But it hasn't sucked me in yet, and I know there's a lot of people that are swearing by it right now. Like they can't stop playing it, and it makes me feel bad because I want to. I
Right.
want to, but I just can't. I can't push myself to play it. Like Persona 5 previously, I
Mm.
had that issue. Like I want to play it, but I don't want to.
It's not it's not like, sucking me in.
Yeah.
Um
Um,
that's another issue I have with video games and, fans of video games. Like
mm,
a lot of it's like with movies and shows when especially like, I think you are too. I'm a huge fan of Rick and Morty.
okay.
I like, it's a stupid comedy, but it also has a lot of real science in it, and it's somewhat based in fact. Um, Plus it's just really funny. But like, people, a lot of the fans are like, uh,
Ravenous.
yeah, they're ravenous fans, and they're making people not want to watch the show. And that's how I feel with video games. Like Jacob is like a really ravenous fan of certain
Mhm.
games, and he makes me not want to play those games because of
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's ever a game series that I would be ravenous for, that doesn't get a lot of credit. And I'll admit, like I know I've talked to you about this series, and I know that you still haven't gotten into it, and I'm upset about it. Um, but as a hardcore PlayStation fan, and for this, at the time of recording, they have finally released on other systems, but originally it was a PlayStation exclusive. The Yakuza series.
Mm,
The Yakuza series is so underappreciated, and it's only now starting to get some kind of backing in America. But
right.
the Yakuza series, for anybody, still you included, I still want to see you guys give Yakuza Zero a chance, which Yakuza Zero is now the most accessible Yakuza game because you can get it on Xbox now. You can get it, of course, still for PS4, and you can get it on PC as well.
Mm,
Um, it's so interesting and funny and serious, and there's so much content and there's so much you can do. I love the series and I am ravenous for that. However, at the same time, I'm not going to tell you that Yakuza is the best game of all time.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you that it's better than your games. I'm just going to say I wish you would give it a chance. That's my
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Of course. Yeah.
Um, but other than that, I have nothing else to talk about at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed listening, and I hope, Jared, you enjoyed having the conversations with me.
Of course. Yeah.
But hey, it's time to hang up the phone. So we're going to go ahead and do that for me, Brandon Tuning, Master G's Game Room, and for Jared Weathers.
Follow me on Instagram, Jared Weathers YT. Um, you know, just listen to the other podcasts we have. That's it, pretty much.
Yep. And then of course for me, you're hopefully you're watching this on my YouTube channel. Hopefully you're going to be watching Jared's content as well. But for me, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Bye, guys.